And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Foster and I'm touching base with you as I do every day, each week. How you guys doing? I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I did. I rested and I got out and about. You know how we roll. I was on the move twice this weekend. So that was we'll talk about that. But today is Motivation Monday. It is Motivation Monday. Can we get that information up on the screen? There we go. Motivation Monday. And we can't help. I'm going to make sure I do this early on. Make sure you join us on YouTube for those that are in Instagram and LinkedIn. Make sure you join us and like and subscribe. How are you all doing? It is Monday morning. Welcome. First person in the building is Chris R. She gets the gold this morning. What's going on, Chris? How are you doing? Second place, silver winner, is Brian Young Creative. So good to see you. And also, he says happy Monday. And third is Adrian. Yes, Mr. Adrian Florence. He's in the building. He says, yeah. What's going on? And let's see who else is in the building. And we have Kelly A. She's in the building. Good morning, everyone, she says. And we got Omar. Omar is not working today this morning. Good to see you, Omar. He starts his new job this week. That's right. No, this week. This week, right, Omar? You start your new job. So good to see you. Janet's in the building. What's going on, Janet? It was a rainy, soggy weekend. Greetings, everyone. And Mr. Bryson is in the building. And he says, what's up, Ron? What's up, RLP fam? What's up, CQ fam? Happy the last day of Monday of September. Yep, this is it. October begins tomorrow. Anyone like the month of October like I like the month of October? October is the month I used to hike all the time. I used to go hiking every weekend. Sometimes I would drag Adrian out to go hiking. He's like, I don't want to go hiking. But we would go hiking. All my friends, we all hang out. My friends from the stock exchange, we all hang out. My friends at the stock exchange just call me Moses because I was the guy always leading the hikes. And so I always love being out in the outdoors. October is that time of the year when the trees are starting to change color. The air is more crisp. The air smells clean, even in New York City. So it's my favorite time of the year. And speaking of clean, I had the great opportunity yesterday of cleaning my windows. Yes, moved all the plants away from the window so I can have a beautiful clean. You clean your windows usually twice a year, spring and fall. And so that way you can have a nice view and see everything. And I'm so excited that my windows are clean. It was that kind of day because yesterday was just like Saturday. It was that damp, raw, misty kind of day. It was just they say it was remnants from Helene. So we kept getting these waves of rain, but we went out. We had our meetup on Saturday. Let me just see if I can bring my miniature crew out. We all hung out together. Let me just see if I can bring this up, you guys. And, the time yesterday, Saturday, was all about being out and about. And there we are. It was just the four of us. We had a good time. And we went to a place called Freeman Alley, in somewhere between the Lower East Side and the Bowery. And it's an alleyway where it's filled with nothing but graffiti and artwork. And it's it's been taken over by art, and it's a great place if you're a photographer to do photo shoots. It's like one of those little hidden way. As a matter of fact, I gave my little secret place away to Omar, and Omar took it and said, "I'm going to use it." And so Omar, when he was here in New York, he spent time over there doing some photography. And so it was misty, it was dank, it was a yucky day, but we had a great time. We had so much fun, and we laughed and laughed, took pictures of people walking in and out. The alleyway has also become more populated because there's at the end of the alley, there is a restaurant, the Freeman restaurant. And then on the side, they just built a hotel. So there's so many, that alleyway is no longer like obscure. I mean, there's people through there all day long. And it's also a tourist attraction. A lot of people have it on their things to do when they come to New York. And it is a beautiful place, I guess, like I said. And if you want to do, for all the photographers out there, if you want to do photography, you probably want to do it early in the morning. The light is still not as brilliant early in the morning as you would think. The best light is during the golden hour, because as the sun is on the west, it's reflecting off the buildings that are pretty high up, and so you can get that light coming down from those buildings. So all you photographers out there, and you want to do a photo shoot, it's one of the best places of how you take grunge and make elegant. So if you want to do an elegant photo shoot, someone with a tuxedo and maybe a dress and something beautiful, and then contrast them with all of this graffiti. So graffiti, not just graffiti, but graffiti and art is absolutely wonderful. And Omar says he sure did. He sure did. He's like, what? I never heard of this place. Oh, I'm going over there. He took his photo shoot straight there. Sure, they enjoy it. Adrian's in the building. Adrian, New York City is in the building. She says good morning, all. Is in the building. She says, good morning, Ron, RLP fam. Elise is in the building. Good morning. Also, since we're on the my Instagram page, and we got a chance to go to remember we were talking about candy last week. All of the old candy, like all kinds of candy. We ended up, thanks to Kim was like, so I went to there was another store that did all these candies that I went to on the Lower East Side. However, I did not know about Economy Candy. And we ended up at Economy Candy, which is the oldest candy store of this sort in the city. It's been around since 1937. And we had a time. So we went in, we saw all the old candy. Now, some of those candies have been modified. So, like, for instance, we saw the old Mary Janes, those little Mary Jane candies. They were flat now. They're not like the little bricks that we used to have when we were kids. But we ended up in this candy store. Man, there's the Mary Janes, or what those things are called. And so you go by this window and you grab all the candy, you put it on the scale, and then you take your bag of candy to the register. They weigh it again, and then you purchase your candy. The guy was right. He said I went and bought like 30. I bought a pound of candy, and I've already gone through a half a pound. So I was like, I said, oh, how long can I keep this candy? He says, you're not going to keep it long. You'll be eating it. And I said, and I ate that candy I got home Saturday evening, ate the candy. Yesterday, I was having a TV binge moment, and I was eating candy. It was absolutely wonderful. Hey, Jamel Shabazz is in the building. Jamel, did you guys have the book what do you call it, the book fair on yesterday? I was wondering if you guys are still going to have it. I was trying to get out there. I did not leave the house. I was like, I am done. I am wiped out. I did not leave the house yesterday. But as you can see the footage, there's candy from everywhere. They have a section called domestic candy. Obviously, that's most of the store. Then they have import candy. So you got candy from Japan, Switzerland, Germany. I mean, you saw Nutella there. I mean, it was just, I was having a meltdown in the store. Everyone was like, Ron, I don't really eat a lot of candy now that I'm older. Once in a while, I'll binge, like I did this weekend. But when I was a kid, I had candy all the time. It's a wonder I did not have more cavities. I only had 2 cavities when I was a kid. But I was having the time of my life. And it was the time of my life sharing it with you guys. Like this back area right here, they had all of these, like those coins, like you had the chocolate coins right there that you see here. And then they had above was all of this memorabilia of candy machines, old cameras, games, puppets, and dolls. It was like, this was nostalgia on steroids. Oh, Kelly, you said I was wondering how long the candy would last, Ron. It's only a half a bag left. And so I'm going to save that to the end. I begin my fast this week. So I started my fast on last night. So after I had my kid, I should say this morning, I'm on a 4-day fast. I try to do that every month now to get back into taking some time to just mentally regroup and also get the body right. And so it is fasting time for me. So no candy for the rest of the week, but it is in the refrigerator waiting for me. Ali says the largest candy store in the world is Sweeties in Cleveland, Ohio. Wow. I can't imagine what that's like. Because this place blew my mind. Like you see, look at all the candies. I mean, look at this back wall. This back wall was jelly beans of every kind. Jelly beans I had never heard of. Sun-kissed tangerine, sun-kissed orange, very cherry. I was losing my mind, to say the least. I was having the time of my life. Look at this. Have you ever seen so many jelly beans? Now, what's good about these jelly beans is that you can buy them as individuals. So you fill up the bag and you grab them. So licorice is your favorite? Most people like the black licorice. Or so most people did. Licorice was a hate and love candy of the jelly bean family. People either discarded them or they ate them. And but here you can just get whatever you want. Look at all the old, like I said, memorabilia. They had baseball banners and cards and old pictures. You got little Betty Boo on the top there, and you had these old games. You had Simon that was behind me, and man, y'all, I was losing my mind. I was losing it. I was like, this is insane. Janice says, you had an old-fashioned sugar rush. My brain was about to explode. And then I saw Charleston Chews, because there was candies that I had not seen in years. I mean, since I was a kid. I mean, one of the things I used to do anytime I went to I got diabetes just looking at this. And I was terrified. I was like, Lord, this is just too much candy. There's a Simon game. For those, I had Simon. I love Simon. And but look at all the paraphernalia and the memorabilia on the top, comic book covers, and remember these candy sticks with, Lord have mercy. I was like out of control. I was like, this is ridiculous. And then, I mean, look at this place. Just look at it. And it was packed. I can see why they're still in business. This is probably one of those businesses that is inflation proof. Inflation proof. Oh, this was the like the good area. This is the only section with nuts. I was like, they have nuts, right? Fruits and nuts. Order here. I was like, oh, y'all trying to be good. Oh my gosh. Look, it was crazy. Okay, I'm gonna get off this candy thing, but it was quite an experience. I loved that, and I won't go there again. I probably won't be back there to next year because it was insane. And but a lot of you guys saw it, and a lot of you guys enjoyed the footage. I got a lot of DMs. Ron, do they order? Can I go online? And yes, you can go online and make an order. And there was a moment I gave Gwendolyn some acknowledgement in the video. Miss G is in the building. Speaking of Miss Gwendolyn, Miss GR Houston Jack is in the building, and they had all these Pez. They had the Pez dispensers. It was like all these Pez, and I said, "Oh, Gwendolyn would lose her mind right now." Oh my gosh. Gwendolyn says, I may need to get my sugar fixed today. I always thought this. Oh, look, that was just pure cocaine, right? I always thought the straws with candy was a gateway to cocaine. I didn't even read it, and I knew what you were going to say. I know my son very well. Oh, wait. Oh. Stage. What happened? What happened to the camera? Okay, hold on a second. Okay. Okay, what's going on here? Nope, nope, nope. Okay. Can't. There I am. I'm back. Oh, Lord. Okay. So, yes, my camera was having a little cocaine moment. Ron and his disappearing act. That was a good one, right? And first, bam, I was like disappeared. Okay, I don't know what happened to my camera. The camera went to it just changed. It switched. Okay, not sure what happened. You know, again, I'm using this crazy Apple mouse, and it gets me in trouble every time. So what's going on? Blame it on the sugar. Miss Eden. Okay, so on a serious note, though, so this weekend I had a great weekend again. I got to spend time let me show if I can share this with you all. And let me see. Hold on a second. I'm going to get this up for you. And this was absolutely wonderful and perfect, perfect, perfect. And let me pop that on the screen. So I got to hang out this weekend. There was this event Saturday, September 28th, and it was at 6 o'clock. We Keep Us Safe. It was so good. I videotaped it. However, I need to do some edits so that way I can take out the actual film. But it was so nice to be a part of Sean Beatty. Sean Beatty, I interviewed her on Friday. And I hope you guys enjoyed her because she really gave us some good gems and talking about film production and documentaries. And so that was on our show on Friday, on our Focus Friday segment. So on Saturday, I went to support. And just for disclosure, my photos are inside this documentary. And so it was really nice to see the documentary in its entirety and see my work there. And so I was really excited about that. It was a lot of fun. They had some entertainment, and there was a young lady that was singing, and then you had I think it was a gentleman that did some poetry. It was absolutely wonderful. And then we had a fellowship after. We had a panel. They had a panel discussion. So that was this is on Sean's page on Handlebar Beatty, Batey. So check that out. It was absolutely wonderful. Like I said, we had a good time, and so that was my Saturday. And then to just make it an easy Sunday like easy like a Sunday morning, I spent most of my Sunday. Like I said, I washed my windows, but in between looking at movies. So I finished up Emily in Paris. So I finally finished that up. And I finally finished up Gangs of London. Has anyone seen Gangs of London? Wow. Yo, if you have not seen Gangs of London on Netflix, you are missing out. Now, I'm a British movie series junkie, and this series is crazy. It's called Gangs of London. Check it out if you have not seen it before. I binged the rest of it, finished it off, and it was worth I needed that day. I needed just a day to just sit on the sofa, get my blanket, and just watch a good movie and have my chocolate, my new candy sitting next to me as I was eating candy and watching movies. It was wonderful. Elise, really? Yeah, I've never liked that candy corns. No way. Elise says, I also eat candy corns. No, say it isn't so. How many of you like candy corns? I used to think they were weird. I used to think they were, I don't know why they creeped me out. I don't know. It was the yellow and the orange. I don't know why. I just did not like to look at them. Oh, thanks. See, my son and I, we are together. It's the worst candy ever. It's the worst candy ever. Elise. I'm going to have to readjust my thoughts of you. No, I'm just kidding. Really? Candy corn? Oh my gosh, I hated that candy. Oh, really? Kelly A says she loves it too. Get out. Get out. Who says it? Elise says it's true. It's true. Oh no, Gwendolyn, no. Oh my gosh, she says it's the best. And Adrian and I say it's the worst. That's pure candy. I mean, that's pure sugar. There's not even flavors. It's just sugar. Holy moly. Who else is in the building? Brian Young is in the building, y'all. Brian is in the building. Holy moly. Who else loves that candy? Agent says, leave it. Oh, gee. Gwendolyn, she said, I had a whole bag of the autumn mix just days ago. This community is crazy. I love this community. I see here, Kelly says, I ate a half a bag last night. No, Kelly, no way, Kelly, eh? No way. Candy corn. Oh, it is the worst. That is the worst of all candies. Just as I say, just my opinion. How do people eat that candy? Lord. Oh, anyway, moving right along. Moving right along. What else is in the news? What else is in the news? Okay, so guys, guess what we're doing? I mean, first of all, we're going to do our Motivation Monday in the last half hour, obviously. However, just so you know, guess what else we're doing? Guess what we're doing tomorrow night? Da-da-da! We're going to have the Tim Waltz and the J.D. Vance CBS Vice Presidential Debate Touch Base Daily Watch Party virtual gathering. We'll be doing that tomorrow at 9 o'clock. I'll be on at 8:45, and we'll be joining in tomorrow, and we'll be checking it out together like we did with the presidential debate. I think this is going to be quite interesting, y'all. I really don't know what to expect. It's not like you have Kamala, who's extremely smart, and then you have dumb Trump. You have Waltz, who's highly educated, but you do have Vance is a highly educated dumbbell. I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to go there, but he chooses to act stupid. He chooses to act dumb, but he really may be a smart guy. And this is going to be something to see. So if you guys want to join in tomorrow, we'll be in here together. Like I said, I'll start at 8:45, and we will be here to look at it and stream it. We'll be streaming from PBS. Okay, so hey, Anthony Rowland is in the building. Yes, Anthony, you know who's like you? My son. My son fell in love with he married his sweetheart as well. Yes. So you and my son Adrian have something in common. Yes. I was hoping that Adrian was in the room on Friday when you talked about it, because there are very few people that get to marry their sweethearts, their young sweethearts. But Anthony, you have him beat. You met your wife at 15. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. And still married. Yes, Brian says he'll be watching. So Brian, be here. You know, you got to have Brian on the panel. Brian will be on the panel. Elise will be on the panel. Adrian, if he decides to be on the panel. But I know Adrian he usually has his posse that he meets with also. So he may be with his posse. So, but Adrian, you're more than welcome. You are invited, sir. And so that's what we'll be doing. That's what we're doing tomorrow. Okay, let me pop that off the screen. So, you know what's really sad to me is what's happening after the hurricane. I was looking at footage of. Let me just bring this up for you all. This is Asheville. And for those that don't know, I was just in Asheville right after Thanksgiving last year, which was less than a year ago. Asheville is one of my favorite places in the South. And I fell in love with Asheville. As a matter of fact, I was even thinking about moving there. I was like, oh, this would be a great place to move to. Not now, because they had the worst flooding, I do believe, in 150, 140 years. It was just horrible. I'm not going to give you the sound, just going to give you the footage as I talk about it. Can you guys, this area right here, this whole area is where we hung out. There's lots of restaurants. There's the Biltmore Mansion, which is the largest mansion in America. They have what's called the Biltmore Village, totally gone, underwater, totally. And it's just sad because so many people lost their businesses. We were just there. I mean, literally, because when you look at the river there, is not that far from the streets in the main town, where you go and you eat and everywhere, those eateries. And we went to this amazing gallery. My heart went out to all these people because we literally had a wonderful time meeting the people there, connecting with the people there. And but yeah, so Asheville is keep them in your prayers. I mean, I was on these roads. I've been on a lot of these roads. I know where this place is. We were on the road every day. I went to that shop right there with the awnings. I've been on this block. It's just so sad to, especially when you had time we spent a week there. And so we got to meet restaurant owners. I talked to everybody, and we were talking to folks and just fell in love with this place. And it's unfortunate that they got so much devastation from the hurricane. And so anyway, so keep them in your prayers, and all the people. There was a lot of I think the death total right now is up to 95. So it is definitely a place that needs prayer. And I know here in New York, we sent police officers and rescue people there. And I know a lot of states helping them out. Same thing with Perry, Florida was also devastated by the hurricane. So keep our Southern folks in your prayers. I see here is Hurricane Helene is not it was not a joke. It was not and so they said there's so many people still missing, and no one saw this coming. And speaking of prayer, I talked to Hannah this morning. Hannah sent me a text this morning. She had to go to the emergency room yesterday, but she's back home, and she said to make sure that the community prays for her. So if you guys can keep Hannah in your prayers, she's home resting up. She had a high fever yesterday, but they sent her home so she can just spend time at home and rest. And so we send our loves and hugs to Hannah, who's usually here every day. If she's here, she's usually gardening while she's listening. Yeah. So keep Hannah in your prayers as well. I see here. Yeah, Jesus, I'm watching. Really, Anthony said there's post on my IG telling the story. Oh, we gotta check that out, Anthony. And it says, "I'm praying for the people in North Carolina affected by the storm." Yeah, that was just horrible, and so many people hurting. Man, what else I wanted to share with you guys? What time is it? Let me try to get you guys out on time today. Not that we have an exact time. Somewhere within 60 minutes, right? And Kim is in the building. What's going on, Kimmy Kim? Kimmy Kim is in the building. She says, "Hello, everyone. So good to see you all here." And if you are in the Instagram area, come on over to our YouTube channel. You'll get a better experience. You can be interactive. You can connect. You can share, and we can put your information on the screen. If you are in Instagram, come over to YouTube. It's just, you can just go into Touch Base Daily on YouTube, or you can just put in Ron Lewis Photos. There you have it. Join us on our YouTube channel. Okay, so let's get to our Motivation Monday, because that's what we're here for. It is Motivation Monday. And here, just like last week, let me just get this here. Let me get my little taps in place. Pop here. Hold on a second. There we go. And set this screen up for you all. And here we go. So you can find this, today's Motivation Monday, on my Patreon page. If you want to become a Patreon member, that's how you support me as I do this work online. But today we're talking about beyond words. Happy Motivation Monday. This was just released at midnight. And it says, let's delve deeper into Destin Sparks' quote. Photography is the story I failed to put into words. This is one of my favorite quotes. Photography is the story I failed to put into words. And a breakdown of it. This quote beautifully encapsulates the power of photography as a medium of expression. Here are a few thoughts to expand on this idea for your Touch Base Daily community, which is our community here today. Okay, visual storytelling. Photography allows us to capture moments and emotions that are often difficult to articulate. A single photograph can convey a complex narrative, evoke deep emotions, and transport viewers to a different time and place. It's a universal language that transcends words. That's one of the things that we all have an agreement of being photographers. We are visual storytellers, and we get to tell stories that people cannot always speak. You know, like the homeless person sitting on a grid in Times Square, sharing that photo makes, the old saying is a picture is worth 1,000 words. You can get a whole lot out of a picture. Without saying a word, you can say a lot with a picture. Connections. Sometimes words fall short in expressing the depth of our feelings. A photograph, however, can capture the essence of a momentum, the joy, sorrow, love, or wonder, creating an emotional connection that resonates with viewers on a personal level. Oh, yeah. Here's another one. Preserving memories. Photographs serve as of our experiences. They allow us to revisit and relive moments that are significant to us. Relive moments that are significant for us. In this way, photography becomes a powerful tool for preserving our personal histories and sharing them with others. Can I stop here? I often talk about Jamel Shabazz photos, what they mean to me. Like, I have his books, and I go through my own photos as well. And I'll look at old photos. I have batches of photos. Well, I keep saying one day Adrian and I will sit down. He and Nancy have to come over and kind of like go through all. I have boxes of photos of these guys, he and his friends, and everyone growing up. And I could go into this box, and I have a trunk of pictures. And sometimes it's really cool, just like on a quiet day when you really just want to break away from the mundane day and just kind of get away from, especially if you had a busy week, and well, maybe it's stress, and you just want to get away. You can take yourself on a vacation by going into your memories. And there's nothing better than having all of those captured memories in pictures, photos. I often say about Jamel Shabazz's photos is that he has captured the 80s in such a way that when I look at those photos, it makes my brain just like, it takes me back. The same feeling you saw me have when I was at the candy shop is what I get when I look at photos from Jamel's book or books, because it takes me back to an era that is, if you do not have photos, you don't have a connection. Those old memories begin to fade away. They begin to fade away. And I am a true believer that photography can be used as therapy for our memories. I find like I've gone on a little vacation back in time because of photography. So preserving memories. The next one, creative expression. For photographers, the camera is an extension of their vision and creativity. Through their lens, they can tell stories that reflect their unique perspective and artistic style. This creative process is often more expressive than words alone. I can definitely identify as these words. Thank God, we write down these words, and I tell people all the time about AI. I love my AI because I get to write, and then I get to throw this all into AI, and the AI now says, "Okay, let me go create this for you." And it comes out. It's like so amazing that it takes what's in your head and like formulates it into beautiful words. But creative expressions is, every photographer sees the world differently. Why? Because of our lived experiences. And our lived experiences influence the way we are creating images for our audiences. And so photography allows you also to be creative, to go out into the street, to go out into the world and just take photos. Take photos of, some people go out, like my newfound friend Ian Reed. This year we've gone out and just photographed old buildings, old lots, and signs. He got me into photographing old signage. So I walk around the city with looking at old signage, or looking at old lots that are going to have buildings built on them. And then you'll never get that perspective again. Never thought about that. Never, ever thought about that. But that's creativity. That is creativity. That's another reason why it's so good to have other friends in photography, because they help you with your creative expression. Your friends. And this takes me to my next one. Inspiring others. By sharing your photographs, you inspire others to see the world through your eyes. Your images can spark curiosity, provoke thoughts, and encourage others to explore their own creativity and storytelling abilities. Like I said about Ian Reed, who's an amazing photographer, who's often been in the war zones, who's gone to Congo, who's photographed in Ukraine, who's photographed in so many different places that, are dangerous. And an amazing Black photographer that lives here in Brooklyn. And he has turned me on to all these new perspectives in photography. And again, that's why it's so good to meet other photographers, to build community. That's the reason, that's one of the main objectives of me creating Touch Base Daily and creating a platform where other photographers and creatives can come together and connect. The goal is met when you guys connect offline. It's wonderful that everyone meets here. We all talk and chat and laugh. But the objective is when photographers meet other photographers, photographers meet artists, artists meet photographers, creatives meet creatives, and you create new expressions. Anyway, closing out. Photography is not just about capturing images, it's about telling stories that words cannot fully express. And my question to everyone, how do you feel about incorporating these points into your week ahead? How do you feel about incorporating these points into your week ahead? So I hope this helps someone today. It's definitely a good feedback on one quote. One quote. Photography is the story I failed to put into words. Okay, there we go. There we have it. Okay, all you photographers in the building, does that make sense? How do you feel? Any thoughts? You can add on. Put it in the comment box. I see Kimmy says, I take the family photos on my smartphone for family events and then share to keep everyone involved in family activities. Isn't it the truth? Isn't it true? There's always, when we had Jamel on last week and we were talking about how there's always one person in the family that is the documentarian. There's usually one. It could be more, but there's usually one. And if you don't have one in your family, then you might want to be it, because it's so important to document the history of your family, the history of the organizations you're with. For instance, I look back, I have another box. I got all these boxes of photos. I probably could, maybe one day I'll walk with me, because there's probably a book. There's probably a book in all of these boxes of photos. I need to scan them and put them onto digital. I need to do that because I have boxes of photos. And I remember the days of when I first got the camera, and my job was to be the church photographer. I was the church photographer. And I remember my dad, my adopted dad, who was the pastor of the church. And he says, you really like photography. I said, yeah, I really like this. He goes, okay, let's get you a camera. And he gave me some money, and I went down to Willoughby camera shop. It was Willoughby Camera in the city. I went to Willoughby, for those that remember Willoughby back in the old days. And I got my first Pentax camera, which sits in the back here on the shelf. And I became the church photographer. And I would go everywhere and photograph everything. The choir, going on tour, at church services, hanging out in the barbecues, hanging out on, going to Bear Mountain, the youth hanging out in outside of church and just going in and out and just wandering around. I would just be with the camera photographing. And I forget that I did that. Sometimes I really do forget. I had like boxes of photos. I told my brother, I said, we have to look at these photos. We need to have a photo party of all of these pictures of when we grew up together. And but it's so important to document your lives, to document your history, to document where you came from. Anyway, that's my moment. That's my motivation Monday for you guys, is to get out there. If you don't know the documentarian in your family, become that documentarian and document the moments that are not going to be repeated. You can preserve it in a photo. Kimmy says, I have those. She says, I have those and my mom did too. Yeah, it's so important. Anthony says, what I like about photographs is that they capture a moment that's gone forever. Impossible to reproduce. Karl Lagerfeld. Yes, that Lagerfeld. I love that quote. That's another one of my favorite quotes. I may have to use it next week. I may have to go in and expound upon it. What I do with these quotes is that I go in and I take the quotes, some of my favorite quotes. If anyone know how I come up with some of these Motivation Mondays, is that I'll find a quote that I love that means so much to me. I'll do a little outline, and then I take it and I put it into AI, and I say, AI, create for my community an expansion of thought on this quote with these parameters and what I think and what I'm feeling. And it will spit it out. It will spit it out for me sometimes. And then I have to go back in and tweak it up and change it around. But it really is an amazing in the world we live in today. For all those folks that are afraid of AI, just a change of thought. Don't be afraid of AI. AI is our friend. Technology is our friend. It can make our lives easier. For someone like myself who has dyslexia, it makes my life easier because it used to take me hours to put my thoughts on paper. It would take me hours. And now I can just do a draft and just write my parameters and put in my thoughts and say, now AI, now make this make sense. And it says, yes, Ron, this could be good for your, it does tell me that this will be good for your community. And that's what I love about AI. So just wanted to share that. That was a sidebar. Don't be afraid of technology. Technology is our friend. And when it's used properly, it can work miracles. Yeah, it allows me to be able to do the things I'm doing. I love it. Anyway, Kimmy Kim says, that's awesome. I need to experiment with AI. Like I tell people, if your child has dyslexia, like I grew up with, it makes life so much easier. And it helps you with your education. It helps me with my reading. It helps me with my dissecting information. I love it. Anyway, just that's my sidebar. Okay, what time is it? It's almost time to get out of here. Okay, guys. So again, tomorrow we'll be tomorrow for our Touch Base Daily gathering for the vice presidential debate. And tomorrow is our Tip Tuesday, and we will be talking about, what are we talking about tomorrow? Tuesday. Let me see what we got going on our Tip Tuesday. Tip Tuesday tomorrow is 3 self-challenging creative projects for photographers. So we're going to be talking about 3 self-challenging creative projects for photographers. Something to help you. I already hinted today about how ways you can challenge yourself so you can become a better photographer. So we'll be doing that tomorrow for our Tip Tuesday. Okay, I think we got it all in here. Kimmy Kim says, seems like writing reports for school or work will be super easy. I wonder if schools let them use AI. I would think not. No, contraire. A lot of schools are using AI. They give the kids parameters But yes, kids are using AI in school. Yes, they are. A lot of schools have adopted it. And because AI is here, it is here to stay and is only going to become more and more a part of our lives. Yes, AI is here and here to stay. I just see how you know me. I'm diving into. Someone was mentioning how how we use Google search today. Like we use have to have the SEOs and all the other stuff that you have to do when you're in search. Guess what, guys? Google search will become like the yellow pages. It was really interesting. There's an article. Gary V has I should link to you guys. He did he shared last week in LinkedIn about the going away of search engines. Search engines are going to slowly disappear. You know why? Because of AI. AI now, you can just tell AI and say, AI, I would like to go to such and such, and just talk to it. And it's going to just give you everything you need. It does. I know, because I use it. I use AI all the time. I have my little button on the bottom of my phone, and I just say, or I'll take a picture of something. I'll take a picture of it, and it tells me exactly what it is. Tells me. Now, I'm sure it is used in conjunction of search engine, but like we used to use search engines, is slowly fading away. So, all you techie people, or I should say the people that are afraid of tech and technology and advances, don't be afraid. Embrace it. Take it on. Learn it. It's going to help you. It helps me every day. Anyway, Empire says, bye, Bing. Bye, Bing. No, Bing. That's why Bing has Copilot. I use Bing every day. Copilot. I use my Chat GPT. Copilot on Bing. So Bing is they're ready. They've already set the stage because the old search is gone and you can just go right to Copilot. Copilot. I love my Copilot. And my God, I didn't want to go down this road, but I'm going to go just one. I got 5 minutes. So last week, I photographed the small business luncheon for Verizon. And they had a workshop. And in the workshop, this gentleman talked about AI. And not only AI that Chat GPT, but the next level, there's another level of AI. And so what Verizon has been doing, which I found it very fascinating, is that Verizon, if you go onto Verizon, they have a small business department that teaches and does workshops for small businesses, which I did not know until I was photographing this event. That's why I love being a photographer. I learned so much from my clients. So I looked at them. I said, my phone company is Spectrum. I think I'm going to have to turn over to Verizon. And they all start laughing. But the gentleman did a whole course on AI and what it could do and the new layers of it. And I was like, oh, holy moly. I thought I knew something. And it can do so much. We're just scratching the surface. This is, y'all, get with it, because if you don't get with it, you'll be got. You'll be gone. You'll be left behind. You take the time to learn this. I was blown away with Verizon's workshop program for small businesses. It blew me away. And the gentleman that I have his information, maybe one day I can have him on here. I did connect with him. We had a little conversation, but he was so informative. AI. Okay, that was my sidebar. Guys, I will see you tomorrow. Have an amazing week. Live life like you mean it. And what? Focus on what matters.